and deeds will be worthy of this freedom and of benefit to all our citizens. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can I get a motion for the minutes for the regular meeting on 4/1/19?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from 4/1/19.
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. We have a work session on 4/18, or 4/8/19.
I'm sorry, oh yeah, sorry.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the work session of 4/8/19.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. This is our time for public comments from our visitors. We will now recognize our visitors. Please raise your hand if you wish to speak. When called upon, please use the podium. Clearly state your name and address into the microphone and limit your comment to 3 minutes. Any dialogue must be conducted through me as president, although your comments or questions can be addressed to the council, the administration, or both. Committee reports, Parks and Rec.
That's me today. So the Parks and Recs Commission met on April 9th, 2019. We discussed a couple topics. First, we reviewed and prepared for the bunny breakfast and the Easter egg hunt, which was on Saturday. The bunny breakfast was sold out, and they doubled their attendance from the previous year. Did a great job. There was, I think, over 6,500 eggs there, so that was an amazing event. They gave an update on the dog park. The dog park is underway. They're still doing construction and figuring out the rest of the funding, but the dog park is moving along. The next topic was the recreation fundraiser. There will be, there's going to be Chinese raffle baskets. There's over 15 baskets. There's cash tickets. Myself and Christine Shute have tickets. If you're interested in going, you can also find tickets at the Parks and Recreation building on Menor Avenue Extension. The fundraiser is Thursday, April 25th from 5 to 7 at the Steel Mansion. It comes with the taco bar, and just the purchase of the ticket will get you in for a drawing for an Indians game, which is playing against, I'm not sure who the game is against, but it's on Dollar Dog Night. So come on and support us, and we'll win some free Indians tickets. Next, we talked about the Kids Yard Sale. This year, the Kids Yard Sale will be May 4th from 9 a.m. to noon. They're changing the location from Morris Avenue to Veterans Park. The Morris location will still be set up for the rain weather or any other negative weather that we may have. The last thing that we discussed was marketing of events. We talked about different strategies to sign up and increase sign-ups for bunny breakfast, summer camps, and the rec department also gave us indication that we did get Lamar advertising, so you will see all of our recreation events on the big giant billboards over by Giant Eagle and the Get-Go. And then the meeting adjourned at 5:05 p.m. That's all.
Thank you. Board of Zoning Appeals.
Good evening. At the April 4th BZA meeting, 3 items were heard. We had a pool variance that was granted for property over in Heisley Park on North Ashwood. The property at 63 Grant Street was granted a variance to not have to put in a garage due to the size of the lot. And the variance for 596 Newell Street was tabled for some additional information that the applicant needed to supply. That's it.
Thank you. Planning Commission.
And the Planning Commission met on April 11th. The conditional use permit for 206 Chestnut Street for a telecommunications tower is still tabled. They will be coming back at that May meeting. Under our new business, we had a conditional use permit request for 448 Menor Avenue. This would be for a bed and breakfast. by Lisa Lewis that was given a favorable recommendation. City Council should have received the information. There's a 15-day waiting period for granting that conditional use permit. After the 15 days, the conditional permit will be issued. And finally, the conditional use permit request for 265 North State Street for OLA. They requested a 6-month extension so that they could get additional funding to start their project. That was granted by the planning commission as well.
So, I know Ola was on there when I was on planning commission, so, is there a finite end to this? Is there, I mean, it's such a worthy cause, I would understand why we would continue to want to do this, but, is there an end in sight, I guess, is my question, because we've done a lot of, extensions.
The representatives that were at our meeting did indicate that they are close to getting their funding. They need approximately $1 million that they're fundraising towards, and part of that issue was their environmental that they had on the site. So I believe that took about a year for them to get all that cleaned up. So they are waiting to get their funding, and then they were going to be submitting a business plan to the Lake County Land Bank so that they could get the title to transfer from that property to them.
And is it still the incubator kitchen, or have they changed their whole?
No, it is the same conditional use permit request that they requested. Yeah, they've not modified it at all.
Any other questions? Thank you. Jed?
Yes, we had our meeting on Friday, April 12th. The financials, we start off with our financials, and the revenues for the city tax there are up 5.87% in 2018. And the first quarter revenues are coming up slightly higher than expected, which is wonderful news for Painesville because we get 25% of that. So, the ICSC conference, the board discussed our preparation for the attendance out there. Mr. Lewis and myself will be going out from a Painesville representative perspective, and it is in Las Vegas. And Rita McMahon and Andy Rose, thank you. And Andy Rose will be attending for Concord. We also talked about the approval for the multiple jurisdiction membership for Buxton, which is something that economic development is definitely going to use and finds people for them or whatever. And they will include, it's a 3-year commitment. There are, as far as the ICSC conference, appointments are being made for us to meet with developers out there. They're in the works. They should be finished by the time we go. Eric Reisner will be also attending for our benefit, the JED benefit. The JED will be paying for his membership and his entry ticket, and he'll take care of all of the other expenses. There was a legal opinion drafted since Christopher Galloway is now our new Lake County auditor. There was a question as to can he serve as chairman of the board, chairman of the JED board, and as expected, the answer was yes. So he's still going to be our president of the JED. The JED website, we've decided to merge with Concord site, and we'll review it a year to see if it should be separated back out. The concern there was we might get lost in the shuffle because it would be a little bit harder to find the JED website rather than have it be on our own. But the discussion decided, the folks decided that nobody's really going to, if you're a developer, you're not looking for a JED. You wouldn't even think about looking for a JED. You're going to look at the community. So you're going to start with Concord as the community, and then you'd find us beneath it. So we felt that that was a good way to go. The bylaws were amended and changed, and they were kind of cleaned up, and they removed some outdated sections, so that passed by approval. And the record retention, we reviewed the proposed record retention policy that will be introduced for adoption at our next meeting. There is a year-end report, and Doug kindly made copies, so if anybody wants to see what kind of revenues or whatever we spent, I have that for you. That's it.
Thank you. Department head approval, tonight Monica will give her recommendation.
Thank you. As council knows, when I hire a new department head or I fire a department head, council has to approve that. So tonight we're talking about the water superintendent. So So my recommendation is Deneen Schultz. Deneen, if you want to stand up. Deneen was hired in 1996, so she's in her 23rd year with the city. She started as an assistant lab tech at the water plant. She was promoted to lab tech 2, to lab tech supervisor, and she currently has the role of water treatment plant supervisor. This will be her 4th promotion within the city. And just a little fun fact, it's a family affair in Painesville. Her mother also does volunteer work in multiple departments. So Deneen has always had a passion for the water department and the city of Painesville, and she's my recommendation for our water superintendent.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have to approve? Motion to approve recommended candidate for the water superintendent. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes, carries. Congratulations. We'll move into legislation. Wishes to comment on legislation. At this time, those things that are requested to be called upon after reading. Any dialogue must be conducted through you as president of council. All other comments or questions can be addressed to the council, administration, or both. When called upon, please use the podium. And we have ordinance number 1. Ordinance number 2. Ordinance number 3. Resolution number 4. Resolution number 5. And resolution number 6. Okay. Ordinance number 1, third reading.
An ordinance to authorize the city of Painesville to enter into a contract with American Municipal Power, Inc. for participation into the Efficiency Smart Program.
Wait till Monica gets back, does anybody have any questions from council?
Ray?
Ray Stern, 346 Birchwood Lane, Painesville, Ohio. Mr. President, I have some comments with respect to ordinance number 1, an ordinance to authorize city manager entering a contract with AMP for participation into the Efficiency Smart Program. I'm confused. I hear a lot of talk about what it does or what the costs are to electric customers. So tonight I'm asking for clarification on the ordinance and how it would impact positively or negatively electric customers. I was under the impression the contract the cities would sign would result in an approximate cost of $14 per resident annually, which would equate to about $1.17 a month on a person's bill. Once this cost is incurred and ultimately gets into the electric rates after a rate study. Further, I thought I heard after attending the various presentations, as stated by the vendor, that an average resident would save substantially more than $1.17 per month on their electric bill, regardless of whether their electric rates go up or down after the rate study. So am I correct? Are the costs of this contract expected to be, on average, no more than $14 annually per customer? Also, am I correct in saying that the expected savings per customer per month, including the savings for electric costs for power purchase, are expected to be in excess of the $1.17 per month that they might possibly pay on their bills? Again, I'm just trying to assess whether there will be any expected increase in rates directly associated with the city signing this contract. Perhaps the city manager would like to clarify this concern to residents such as myself.
Thank you.
So the numbers you quoted are correct. On average, customer will see the cost of the program would be added to $14 a year. But if the customer, overall the price savings on the other end is I believe it was a 2.5 to 1 return on investment. I forgot the number off the top of my head. But overall, it's more of a savings to the overall customer than it is a cost. Yep.
Hopefully that'll help.
More residents.
Move to approve?
Second.
Mrs. DeMello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Hack.
Yes, ordinance 1 passed. Ordinance number 2, second reading.
An ordinance repealing Chapter 1139, non-conforming uses, structures, and lots of the Painesville Code of 1998 and declaring an emergency.
Good evening, this is the third reading, at the last, isn't this the third?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, sorry. Second.
At the last meeting, I was asked to give a marked up version of the code changes so that you can see the original as compared to the new, so hopefully everybody has gotten that. I can answer any questions.
Okay, we'll leave this on for third reading. Ordinance number 3, second reading.
An ordinance enacting Chapter 1139 of the Painesville Code of 1998 relating to non-conforming lots, structures, and uses and declaring an emergency.
Going to ordinance number 2.
Correct, yeah, so ordinance number 2 would repeal the old ordinance number 3 and enact the new.
We will leave this on for third reading. Resolution number 4.
A resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, for the resurfacing of West Jackson Street in the city of Painesville and declaring an emergency.
So this is so that we can enter into an agreement with ODOT, and they're going to run the West Jackson Street project. And we just need to pay them upfront for what they believe the costs are going to be.
Move to suspend?
Second.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Move to adopt?
Second.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, resolution number 4 passed. Resolution number 5, first reading.
Resolution recognizing the responsibility of the city of Painesville to affirmatively further the fair housing and declaring an emergency.
The legislation before you recognizes the commitment of the city of Painesville to further fair housing. This is a piece of legislation we typically do every year in order to apply for community development block grant funding. Sorry, little stick there. We currently work with Lake County and also the Fair Housing Resource Center to ensure that we do meet our commitment for fair housing. So if we happen to have any issues, we work cooperatively with each one of them. This legislation can go 3 readings if council prefers.
Are you sure?
I would move to suspend. Second.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mrs. Denalo?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, resolution number 5 passed. Resolution number 6, first reading.
Resolution authorizing and directing the city manager to apply for and accept funding from Lake County FY 2019 Community Block Grant Program for various projects as listed below in priority order and declaring an emergency.
The city of Painesville is eligible to submit projects for funding through the fiscal year 19 Community Development Block Grant Program. We sat down and reviewed various projects and made a decision as to which ones were priorities for the city. The applications, given council approval that we will submit, will be 3 applications in priority order. They are for, first, the Disadvantaged Sidewalk Assistance Program. We will be requesting $75,000. the Richmond Street Corridor Retail Enhancement Program, which is really like the storefront program that we've offered in the past. We will be submitting for $50,000, and the Residential Housing Rehabilitation Program. As council may remember, in the past we did a vinyl siding program and a roofing program that were very successful, and we will be combining those to request $45,000. The applications are due on May 20th, and there will be no additional cost to the city. We will be requesting grant funding. In some cases, there will be a local match to the program as well, as there has been in past programs. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Move to suspend?
Second?
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Move to adopt. Second.
Mr. Augustine?
Yes.
Mrs. Shute?
Yes.
Mrs. Dinello?
Yes.
Mrs. Jenkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hack?
Yes. Resolution number 6 passed. Tonight, we have no unfinished business, we have no new business. Department presentation will be given by the fire department.
So, there is obviously a miscommunication with my fire chief. So we can either have me do the presentation, or you guys can wait until next council meeting. I'll make sure he's here to do the presentation. It's up to council.
I vote for wait.
I think waiting's fine.
All right, so we will wait until the next.
I guess that puts you behind on other presentations.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Thank you.
We did do a nice presentation at our Lions meeting last week, so.
Yeah.
Administrator reports, law director,
I have nothing at this time.
city manager,
And I think for the report.
correspondence, clerk of council.
The next regular council meeting will be held Monday, May 6th at 7:30. The upcoming First Fridays event is Friday, May 3rd. The event is the Chocolate Walk and Wine and will be held on Main Street. The kids' garage sale is on May 4th from 9 a.m. to noon in Painesville Square. Tables are only $5 and need to be reserved by May 1st. Party on Main is May 16th from 6 to 10 p.m. on Main Street. Ace Moeller will be playing.
Great. Closing comments?
Nick, I just want to, give credit to, I guess, all of council as well as the administration. In the last couple of weeks, I know it's busy season, I've been to like 5 different events that the city's hosted, and our community on top of that. And every time I go to one, I see more council members, I see administration, I see everybody out and about supporting the city, supporting the community, supporting the schools. So I think that's pretty amazing, and I won't rattle off every event that I've gone to, but I will say that a couple weeks ago I did do a social media training from the economic development, and that was amazing, Kathy. All the people that came were not just from Painesville, they were from all over the place. There was people that drove in from like almost an hour away, and it gave us the opportunity to show off our city, it gave us the opportunity to invite them into our city, and it gave them the opportunity to learn something from us. So that was amazing, and I look forward and hope that we do another one. The next thing I'd just like to repeat again was the rec department is having a recreation fundraiser, and that is April the 25th. So if anybody needs any tickets, you can talk to myself, Councilwoman Shute, or anybody at the rec department. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris?
I just want to congratulate Deneen on her new job and welcome, and, well, not welcome, but thank you for stepping up, really appreciate it. And that's it.
Great. Lori?
I too would like to welcome you. Nice to see you here tonight too. And share, although I don't want to list every event I've been to either, I do want to tell you that I won a yoga basket at First Friday. So I got 19 free sessions, a new mat, blocks, and the thing I wanted the most was the strap. So I was pretty excited about that. And also wanted to thank the Painesville United Methodist Church and all of their volunteers that helped serve at the breakfast, the money breakfast. It was a very lovely event, and it was decorated really nice. I also got to go to Lake Erie's open house for the HVAC facility. Actually, it's called the Lab. It was a very well-attended event. It was beautifully done. The lab is a state-of-the-art lab. And I really do think it will provide a gap, fill a gap in that industry, but more importantly for me, because I'm an education person, excited about the educational opportunities for students. I do know one student from Madison that had to go all the way to Cleveland to do her training in that area. She's like from 11th and 12th grade, and now she's about to graduate, and she's set to make a really nice living for herself. So I think it'll be a great asset to our city and to K-3 College.
Thank you. Katie?
Well, I would just like to say, I sold a painting at the Adams Ward auction on Thursday for $2,300.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to be resigning effective immediately. I've also given notice at my day job, and Doug, I'm going to need you to approve the plans for the she shed. Career as an artist. No, I wanted to share tomorrow, is Tuesday, April 16th. United Way Lake County is doing Dine to Donate. For anybody who's not familiar, all you have to do is go out to eat 3 times. And a certain portion of every meal that you eat goes towards United Way Lake County. So I know locally Bistro 70 and Perkins are 2 of the restaurants in Painesville City that are going to be doing it. They're throughout all of Lake County. I know every year when they do this, I usually go and pick up dinner to go for my entire family, my parents, and we just put a lot of money into food somewhere, just to make an impact and not have to cook. So, lunch, breakfast, dinner, all 3 meals tomorrow. All funds go towards supporting United Way. So just check out on Facebook or on their website what restaurants are listed, but I know for sure Bistro 70, Perkins, and Painesville City are participating. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations to Nina on your position. Well deserved. And can I have a motion to go to executive session?
I make a motion to go to executive session being held in accordance with Article 2, Section 6.1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of an employee of the city.